let's discuss the best combinations and best teams for both Super Saiyan 3 Goku and the new BUU for Golden Week. I usually separate both characters into separate videos, but I figured it'd be a lot easier for you if we covered them in both. As you can see here, we have a tab open, or a group here for Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and then another one for Kid BUU, or not Kid BUU, but you know, I'm trying to manifest LR Kid BUU in part 2, jeez. But we have the Fat BUU here. We're going to go through Super Saiyan 3 Goku first, and then we'll go through Fat BUU. If you do enjoy these types of videos, want to see more or enjoy, feel free to subscribe. It really does help out. Thank you for being here. Let's hop into the video. So again, starting off with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, there's a lot to cover here, and what I'm going to do to make it, because I know there's a lot of tabs that looks like it's going to be too much, but what I did was I just tried to simplify all of the different rotations you can possibly run on your team. So instead of just giving you one team of 7 characters, since a lot of people don't have specific characters, what I tried to do for you is come up with a bunch of different rotations that you can run, but still, you know, have a pretty solid team. And it's going to be all the rotations and then the support characters, the last 3 characters you can put on your team that are going to be in the 3rd slot constantly, either buffing or just providing security and support to your team. So the first thing I think we should definitely cover here is what the category looks like for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So Majin Buu Saga, Otherworld Warriors, and High Speed Battle is going to be your 3 key 170. Kamehameha and Time Limit is going to be the extra 30%. And this is basically what we have to work with when it comes to this category. So we're going to assume that either you pull the Goku or you're going to pull him in the future, because we're focusing on using him as the leader for this video. So here we go, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This is, of course, is the Otherworld Warriors category. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. The first rotation I would highly recommend is these 2 right here. If you summon for the STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku and you pull them, this is going to be an amazing rotation that, yes, you can pull off, because this Super Saiyan 3 Goku is Angel. The names are different, so you can link them up. 6 out of 7 links is amazing. And the great part about this rotation is AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku can nullify Ki, Blast, Base super attacks, whereas STR Goku can nullify unarmed super attacks. So you have both nullifications that basically can happen in one rotation. So if you're able to fit a character on this team who can foresee super attacks, and you know what kind of super attack the enemy is going to perform, it really does allow you to mess around with the rotation in such a way where it's like, oh, I know this character performs a Ki Blast base super attack, let me put AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku out in front. Or unarmed, let me put STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku out in front. It's a very strong combination. So these 2 are definitely going to be very, very strong together. I would argue this is definitely Super Saiyan 3 Goku's one of his best rotations. Next, I would put AGO Super Saiyan 3 Goku alongside this Super Saiyan 3 Goku. The names do work, so they, you know, are obviously going to link up together. Nothing special about this. Again, they're both, again, very, very strong. The one thing I'll say is that both being AGL can put you at a severe disadvantage if you're facing, let's say, an extremely strong tech red zone or a blue zone enemy, or whatever enemy you're facing. If not tech, sorry. Well, yeah, no, tech. If you are facing a tech enemy, having a double AGL rotation is just definitely not ideal. So be cautious with this rotation, but it still can work. 5 out of 7 links is definitely very good, and a lot of Ki being shared as well. Moving on, we have this rotation here, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, newly Easy Aid. The cool thing about Super Saiyan 3 Goku, if I can pull him up, is he has the 50% damage reduction. Where is it? Yeah, here. Reduces damage by 50% within the turn before the character performs an Ultra Super attack. So, if, let's say, you put him in slot 1, or if you are facing a very annoying AoE enemy, this guy can survive in slot 2 or even in slot 3, because when that enemy performs their AoE, he has 50% damage reduction. So he's good until he attacks. So I think it's a very strong security, option for your team. These two are definitely going to work very, very well together. Again, 4 links isn't the craziest of all times, but 3 key and being able to share all this attack here is still going to be very, very, very good. So you're really not going to have that many key issues when it comes to this rotation. Of course, bad luck can be a thing, but that's another main rotation you can run. Another main rotation you can run are these two. Now, this Vegito is getting an easy A. This Gogeta's easy A still has to happen, but these two sharing 7 out of 7 links definitely is very strong. And yes, both of these do fit under the 200% leader skill, as you can see. So it's going to be something that, if you decide to run this, it'll be very strong. And Tech Gogeta does give you the ability to foresee enemy super attacks. Actually, Vegito, once you let me see something real quick. Yeah, so they both foresee. Again, that foresight for a team like this, where you have both Super Saiyan 3 Gokus being able to nullify super attacks, it's just going to be extremely, extremely valuable. You also have this option here. Now, when it comes to Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Vegeta here, please understand that Vegeta and Goku do not fit under the full 200%, but they are under Majin Buu Saga, so they are still getting the 170 majority buff, which still makes them work on this team. They're a still very strong defensive option, especially once you get their standby skill off. So there's a lot of possibilities here. And again, with all these options, you can say, you know what, I'm going to run this rotation and this rotation, or this rotation and this rotation, right? Again, these are just options for you to run and to explore as you build your team for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Another option is going to be these two. This guy getting an easy A is going to make this rotation alive once more, and these two work very, very well together. And when they fuse, they end up sharing 7 out of 7 links, I believe. So you can also run this team here. This guy is also under Goku's leader skill right here. So again, it's still getting that full 200% buff for these two. This physical Gogeta they've definitely aged a little bit compared to the Vegito, but they're still very strong. And if you don't have any other options, it can still make for a pretty strong rotation. And then, of course, I had to pull up the blue Goku and blue Vegeta here. Now, when it comes to them, they are on the accelerated battle team. So, not necessarily the Majin Buu Saga team, but they still are fitting the 170. So just keep that in mind. Let me also do this here. Perfect. Okay, so this is Majin Buu Saga category. We can go ahead and delete this. And then when it comes to your, third slot options, there's quite a few. Because again, Goku is covering 3 big categories here. So the first one I'd encourage you to explore is the Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku. Spirit Bomb Absorbed Goku being in that third slot, being able to offer you rainbow orbs is going to be massive for this team who, depending on what rotation you run, are going to definitely be key hungry, right? Another great thing about this category is he is supporting the Super Saiyans category, which isn't going to be a factor for some rotations, but will be for other rotations that include these two once they transform, because again, both of these guys are on the Super Saiyans category, so even if they're not fused or whatever, it's still going to be able to support them. So depending on what rotation you end up running, you can get value out of this guy. The damage reduction, if this character can get some orbs, is going to be a very great asset for you in slot 3. Being able to greatly raise your own defense, of course, on both 12 and 18 key is still going to, again, provide you value in that third slot, to where this guy isn't really a liability for you. So being able to get your defense pretty high, have some damage reduction, and support the team through rainbow orb changing is going to be a great asset for you if you decide to run him. Another option is going to be Super Saiyan 3 what? The Super Saiyan Goku Carnival LR here. This guy is definitely aged a little bit, but if you have no other options, keep in mind that 2 key and 50% of defense is a massive, massive buff for a lot of characters on this team. 30% damage reduction is, of course, very good. And this character, in the rare, chances that you end up seeing it, will be able to foresee enemy super attacks after they receive 10 attacks in total, which again could end up saving you late down the line. Next, we have Gamma 1. I threw Gamma 1 on here. Gamma 1 is on the accelerated battle part of Goku's leader skill, so he works, but he can build up to a total of 50% damage reduction, as you already know. On top of that, he's supporting all allies key 1 and 30% to defense, and on top of that, he can also nullify unarmed super attacks. So while he isn't meshing great, like the best with this entire team, his ability to offer all of that utility in slot 3 is something that should definitely not go unnoticed. If you do not know who else to put on your team, this is a great option for you. He's only fits the 170. Actually, does he? It's just 170 for him, right? Yeah, both Gammas aren't on this team, but when it comes to just Gamma 1, I mean, Gamma 2 is also can fit here because he's also on accelerated battle, but I think you're getting more juice with Gamma 1. 50% damage reduction in slot 3 is incredible. Defensive support is incredible, and nullifying super attacks is again incredible. So this guy, and he's also a high damage dealing character as well, which may not be too apparent since he's not going to be utilized with his links and stuff, but again, it's just the value he adds to the team besides damage can greatly be utilized in slot 3. You also have Carnival Goku, who of course is going to be guarding. That's one of his main assets, and also offering you the revive mechanic on your team. A third slot character being able to revive is huge, because remember, these third slot characters tend to be where most of the weaknesses of teams are. So being able to run really strong slot 3s who can heal, who can Rainbow Orb change and support defensively and nullify super attacks, and in Goku's case, revive and guard, is massive. We also have Jackie Chun here. Now it's funny because Jackie Chun, when it comes to the leader skill for Goku, is of course on accelerated battle. The reason why I pulled this guy up, so this support of course is not going to be great, but this is the main reason right here that I decided to actually put him or mention him in this video. When an enemy is hit by this character's ultra super attack, reduce damage received from that enemy by 50% for the duration of that turn. If you get lucky enough to get 18 or more key with this Jackie Chun, which shouldn't really be extremely hard, this is self-excluded, right? Yeah, so he starts off with 4 key, both leaders giving him an extra 6 key is going to be 10 key starting off with, so you're going to need to find 8 key with him. I'm not going to really go into all the links and stuff, which most wouldn't really be active anyways, but being able to hit the enemy with an 18 key and then reduce the damage you receive from that enemy in slot 3 by 50% could definitely save you. Not the greatest option in slot 3, but it's a useful ability to, if you get it off, you'll definitely be able to survive that turn, unless the enemy is just that strong, right? God Goku, I mean, we already know how good God Goku is. The main reason why I put God Goku on here is because of his ability to dodge. Dodging in slot 3 is of course very, very strong, and he is greatly raising his attack and defense on both 12 and 18 key. And if you manage to get multiple super attacks off, even if he doesn't dodge, he's going to be looking very good defensively. So a secure slot 3 option. And last but not least, we have AGL Pycon. I'm pretty sure there's some other options here, but I think these are like the main ones. AGL Pycon, I think one of still the most underrated characters in the game. Not the greatest character of all time, I'll give you that, but for him to be this, viable over 3 years in is incredible. His main asset, well, I guess there's actually 2 main assets for him. Technically, I'd consider it 3. The first one is the support. Now, 3 or more type key spheres is a lot easier to obtain than 4 type key spheres, like with what the Fat Janemba has. But even then, this is very easy to see. It applies to himself, but again, just being able to support is of course incredible. Giving yourself an extra 4 key, and at least just with 1 Rainbow Orb obtained, you have a high chance of dodging, and being able to seal, if of course you can, is very good utility in slot 3. And I think something that he does that's going to be extremely useful is this right here. Can be activated when facing only one enemy whose HP is 50% or more, starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle. Delays a single targeted enemy's attack for 1 turn. It's basically a Ghost Usher for an enemy. If you end up being in like a very difficult mode, like let's say SBR, or sorry, extreme SBR, or whatever is difficult for you, and there's multiple enemies, make sure you target the enemy first before you pop this, because that targeted enemy will not be able to attack for the remainder of the turn. And if you only have one enemy, then it basically acts as a Ghost Usher, where you have 1 free turn to be able to do as much damage as you want, or fix your rotations, or whatever the case may be. So basically a free item, a free Ghost Usher, while supporting and dodging in slot 3 is of course very strong. So those are all your slot 3 options on this team. Those are all your main rotation options. Of course there's more if you really dig deep, but these are the ones that I think are going to provide the most value in the long run. Next, let's go ahead and finally talk about BUU. Now, there's still a lot of tabs here, but there isn't really much to talk about when it comes to this team, because this team just isn't, there's just not really that many options compared to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But there's still some things here I wanted to bring up. So, of course, we have our man BUU here. And this is what the category looks like for... Now, I also mentioned, even on Super Saiyan 3 Goku's team, you can run extreme class characters, because Majin Buu Saga, right? So you can still get away with running, let's say, the new BUU and some other extreme class Majin Buu Saga category characters. But just for the cohesiveness of the team, I wouldn't really recommend it. And if you're in a really tough event where they're hitting hard turn 1, and you get Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Fat BUU, and some other weird character, you're just going to end up, you're basically dead, right? So for cohesive purposes, I would just keep Super with Super and Extreme with Extreme. Getting into the main rotations, first one I'd recommend are these two. This guy is getting an EZA. We do not know how good this EZA is going to be, but sharing 7 out of 7 links is incredible. One L that I'll say right away is that this Evil BUU, or Majin Buu Good, and just this tech character here, they are exchanged with, there you go, they do not heal. They might end up giving them healing, or giving them healing during their, or when they get their EZA, but they don't heal as a character. I'll also mention that they do share infinite regeneration, so they are here. They are healing basically from. Well, aren't they healing from somewhere else too? Yeah. So revival and infinite regeneration are basically allowing them to heal together. This one is if you're under 50% HP or less, but it's like when it comes to the BUU team, there's so much healing going on most of these characters that you really want to prioritize characters who can heal. Because at that point, it's just going to be extremely, extremely difficult to die, right? This guy is recovering 10% HP for rest of battle, and then an extra 10% HP for 5 turns from the character's entry turn. So when this guy enters, he's recovering 20% HP. Hold on, we're going to turn. Yeah, dude, it's like it's insane how much healing just this guy himself is doing. So if they really decide to give him healing, it'd be great, but even if they don't, you still have 2 links that can be utilized for healing. You also have this main rotation where Evil BUU is actually providing you extra healing. Recovers 5% HP at the start of turn, recovers an additional 5% HP when HP is 80% or less at the start of turn, and recovers an additional 10% HP when HP is 40% or less at the start of the turn. So a lot of healing, and the crazier part about, you know, these two on rotation is that Fat BUU can survive KO attacks once within a turn. You know who else can do that? This guy. Granted, your HP has to be above 40%, but there's so much HP healing going on that it's going to be really hard to not see that. And nullifying is also really cool. And he's also recovering HP with the orbs that this guy can create. Wait, he creates, yeah. So, again, you have a lot of healing, nullification, and the ability to survive KO attacks with both of these characters. That's extremely strong as a rotation. So I would say this is probably your best rotation, just with what both characters are able to do. You also have this option right here. 4 out of 7 links is not the craziest of all time, but understand that 2 key right there is definitely going to make a difference. And an extra key for infinite regeneration, extra healing going on there. And STR Kid BUU does have the ability to recover 20% HP if he receives an attack starting from, of course, the next turn, and he can nullify super attacks as well. So imagine one main rotation of this and another main rotation of this, where you have a bunch of healing, a bunch of super attack nullification. It's just you can't die, because almost all characters have the ability to just not die. It's insane. So while you don't have the craziest options on this team, the options that you do have are still very, very strong. You can also run this rotation here. This guy with this character's EZA, all the HP healing is of course very strong. Survives KO attacks up to once within a turn. Like, every character has this, dude. It's insane. Like, this is actually insane. The team, the healing, the surviving KO attacks. It's just too strong. The links are not great. At least they're sharing 2 key. At least, you know, they're going to be able to both heal together, and they really should not struggle. What does struggle mean? Struggle with too much of their, you know, ability to super attack. Additional 2 key per key sphere obtained is going to help this character super attack a lot. So you're not really too dependent on key from links and stuff. So these two are definitely going to be able to work very well next to each other. And then some other rotations, if you can't really manage those, some rotations you do have are, you know, a Frieza rotation. It can work. The thing is with BUU gives Majin Buu Saga sworn enemies and storied figures. Sworn enemies is basically all the villains from Z, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why you can pull off a rotation like this, because you can see right here that they share the sworn enemies category. So this could definitely work. You also have this rotation if you wanted to. You have some cell rotation since they're both on sworn enemies as well. And then you also have this rotation here. And then for some slot 3 characters, I pulled up Hyrule Garn. Stacking defense is of course very useful. His active skill is of course very useful. And his ability here to basically have a 70% chance to dodge is of course very, very strong as well. He's also going to be doing just a lot of damage regardless. So him being able to do that, being able to do this while stacking defense, while having this up your sleeve, is just a great utility option for slot 3. You also have this BUU. Now this BUU isn't going to be linking up that great with the rest of the characters, to be honest. You do have some options, but I think the main reason why you'd want to run a character like this is for the active skill. The active skill is going to be giving you 40% HP healing, so it's like when you are really down bad and you don't really have much healing options left, or the healing isn't enough, this can definitely save you. I think the ability to have a great chance of guarding when you need it is hopefully could be there. If not, it could definitely go sideways, but just having that is definitely better than nothing. And when you do have that guard activated, which you'd have to be in the first or second slot, I guess technically the first slot, and get hit for that guard to really activate to be able to launch additional super attack. But in the rare case that you do, being able to launch additional super attacks is going to help you, because you're raising defense on both 12 and 18 anyway. So a solid option for sure. You have this guy who is supporting all allies if there's a Goku's family enemy. So if you are struggling to build a team and you know you're facing a Goku's family enemy, you can definitely tag this character on. It's a very solid free-to-play character. Guarding and then 50% damage reduction when guard is active, which is going to be all the time, is very, very strong. You also have this Golden Frieza for reasons I think we all understand by now. And then Golden Frieza as well. That damage reduction for the first few turns is going to be extremely strong as well, helping you basically get your rotations right and protecting the ability for you to die from slot 3. I think it's just, again, a great way to utilize this character in slot 3. So let me know what you think. Those are a lot of the main rotations you can run, the reasons why they're good, a lot of the third slot rotations or characters you can run, and the reasons why they're good. Let me know what you think. Did you get lucky enough to pull these characters? Are you going to summon? Are you going to continue skipping? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.